This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMAjunkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMAjunkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Gold. This is what we do and why we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMAjunkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMAjunkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMAjunkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMAjunkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMAjunkie Radio Show. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes, our East Coast, and back east, he's going to handle all the producing duties. It's Danny. What's up, guys? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Today's the official work Merry Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So there's probably people at home that had the day off, and this is their Merry Christmas holiday.
The streets coming down here were empty. I used to think that Vegas was. I thought a lot of people came here for Christmas.
They do, Goes, because I was in that traffic. They arrived here last night, I think.
Oh, is that how it
was
works?
A lot busier than usual. And let me tell you, there's a lot of maniacs out there, too. I just resorted to just driving in the right lane, kind of sitting behind a couple semis, and just enjoying the show.
It was that bad?
Oh, dude, there was people they were like tailgating you and cutting each other off. And, you know, like it sunk down to like 27, 29 in certain areas. So certain areas was a little icy. And I was like, man, I ain't having a part of that. Plus, I passed a few accidents along the way. And it wasn't little fender benders. It was serious stuff. So I thought, can you imagine just checking out on Christmas Eve? I mean, you know, or on Christmas, which is exactly what happened to George Michael.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Thoughts and prayers to his family and friends. I heard that on the way there as well, and I think that I just told myself, you know what? I'm going to play Wham's greatest hits and George Michael's greatest hits and just sit here and
What'd you do? Just tell
home
Siri
alive.
Play favorites?
Exactly. I went to my number one playlist.
I actually like Wham, and I like George Michael.
I have no shame. I'll tell you I did, man. I did. I was bummed out because I grew up kind of in his era. And as you get older and you look back, you go, okay, that song was corny. Some live through stand the test of time.
Uh-huh.
Others are corny. They weren't corny at the time. You look back and you go, oh, what were we thinking? Or, but they're still influential figures. They changed the way some people think, dress, talk, whatever. And he was a Grammy winner. He was successful. It sucked to get that news, man. I was like, oh, man, that sucks. He's only 53 years old. And 2016, to me, it seemed like a lot of big names were dropping this year. I don't know if it's any different from 2015 or if it's just a bigger deal because everyone rushes to Facebook to announce everything.
No, it was a lot. Me and Danny were talking about this before the show started. And if you're if you're Boy George, this is my list here. Boy George, John Madden, Ozzy Osbourne, Hugh Hefner, Stan Lee. You're in check. You better wrap yourself in bubble wrap until 2017.
Can you go over those names again?
Morning.
What's up, man? Boy George, John Madden, Ozzy Osbourne, Hugh Hefner, Stan Lee.
Okay.
And then my honorable mentions are Bill Murray and Betty White. Wrap yourself in bubble wrap and get into a bank vault until 2017.
Why those names?
I don't know. They just kind of fit that bill.
Oh, okay.
Of kind of what's been going on.
All right. Want to welcome to the show Ali Abdelaziz, the president of Dominance MMA, which houses a lot of superstars in the sport. He's also the former matchmaker at World Series of Fighting. He's also a former fighter. and a black belt in judo. What's up, Ali? How you doing?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
I hope
to
you had a
Happy
nice
birthday to
days
you
off.
and the fan. Everything's good, man. Everything is going. Just been hectic couple of weeks.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
We were off. We were off since last Tuesday. But you know how it is. Even when you're off, you just can't unplug. You go on the app, you go on the news, and you track the shit that's happening. And stuff was going down.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I want to get to, I guess, the most relevant, even though I do want to touch on Cyborg. But the most relevant is in the last 48 hours, we will not be seeing Fabricio Verdum fight Cain Velasquez. And that's, I believe that's been confirmed now by the UFC.
Correct. And it's sad, because a whole bunch of idiot, decided to do certain things in the sport, and the whole thing is everybody thought it was just the only commission. I don't think this is now. This is something really really upset me a lot, because now Fabricio Verdum and his family didn't get to have good Christmas. He doesn't get to make money. He doesn't, he spent 40-50 grand on his training camp. This guy's really spent a lot of money on the training camp. And now because one interview, this whole fight, because Cain Velasquez, listen to me, Cain Velasquez is healthy. I have nothing against Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez is a nice guy. But for everybody to know, if everybody think this fight didn't happen because just the commission didn't think it's fit, you're wrong.
Why else didn't it happen?
Okay. Normally, when a fight is gonna fall off, the UFC, it's a machine. The UFC will call the commission, will call the doctor, will call me, will call Fabricio Verdum. This time was different. I was the one who was calling, me and Javier Mendez. Cain Velasquez have some idiot managing him. You know what I'm saying? These guys didn't even call the commission, didn't call the UFC, nothing. And me and Javier was like, what's going on here? I was calling the UFC, hey, we don't know what's going on. I was calling Mick, like, I have no idea. It's the commission decision. And talked to Dana. I said, hey, I don't know. It's the commission decision. I was like, in my mind, normally, listen to me. When Dana White want to get something to happen, he will get it done. Dr. Davison, the UFC doctor, I talked to Mark Retner, like, I'm the one who was calling people what is really going on. But the UFC did the minimum. Just the minimum. And I do not blame the UFC from doing the minimum. Why? When you get listen to me, Cain Velasquez is a great guy. I like Cain a lot. He's fighting for Breach stuff, but he's a good dude, man. Great guy. One of the best heavyweights ever. Him, Fabricio, and it's the top guys. But the whole thing is, when 4 weeks ago, your management partner up was this fucking scumbag Bijan Rebny. You understand?
I had a feeling
it was Bijan Rebny, and now this guy's you bring George St. Pierre, the greatest of all the time. It's not John Jones, it's not Anderson. George St. Pierre is the greatest of all the time. He is. You bring TJ De La Shaw, one of the best bantamweight of all the time. You bring Tim Kennedy, one of the most respectful guys in the sport, and you bring Cain Velasquez, one of the best. People love him, and you bring all these guys. For me, they flowers, and you bring flower next shit. Bijan Rebny is shit. You understand? And they show you how fucking intelligent these guys from CA is. These guys, they a bunch of fucking rookies. They don't know nothing about nothing. You understand? And now the UFC look, okay, Cain Velasquez is part of this group. You said you're injured. Now, if I let you fight, 3 weeks later, or 2 months later, or 6 months later, court to the judge said, did you get these guys to fight and they know they're injured? Because when the last time you see Cain Velasquez talk on an interview, Cain doesn't even talk. And now, the UFC, if I was the UFC, I said, no, fuck this shit. I'm not, let the commission decide. I'm not even going to push for it because he want to sue me. Because all these guys with the union, I'm pro-union. I want MMA have a union. Mm-hmm. Because the NFL have a union, NHL have a union, basketball have a union. We can have a union. Why not? You understand? I don't care what the UFC think. We should have a union. Mm-hmm. But you don't bring George St. Pierre with some fucking Bijan Rebny. Bijan Rebny, how many lives this guy ruined? I'm not an angel. But I guarantee you, I never ruined anybody's life. Never did. You understand? You bring shit next flowers. He's shit. Yeah, the guy was ran out of boxing, sued by Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I'm saying? And now you bring in this guy next to this guy's legend, man. How you bring, do you remember? Eddie Alvarez didn't fight for 2 years. You understand? Because of him. You understand? How you do this, and now it just told you. You know what I'm saying? This is 100% Kane's fucking management. Him and his coach was calling the commission, was calling the UFC. They did not do nothing. I will fucking bitch slap any of these fucking guys. I'm so mad because Fabricio now Verdum didn't get to give money. Even Kane family doesn't get money. These people, everybody celebrate Christmas and happy holidays. These people were sad. Yesterday I was really sad. You know what I'm saying? Even I'll tell you something. Fabricio and Dana doesn't have the best relationship. I felt in sense even Dana was upset, sad for him a little bit. You understand? I hope Dana will give him some money. I doubt it, but how this man spent 4 or 5 months training camp, spent all this money because some stupid ass interview. Everybody said Brad Akamoto. This is not Brad Akamoto's fault. He didn't. He volunteered the information. When I do an interview with any of my fighters, I call, we talk. This is what I do. We talk about the interview. I ask the media about the question. I do. If you want to call it controlled, not controlled, this is my style. If you want to do an interview with my fighter, we're gonna talk about it, the subjects. I'm not going to tell you not to say something, but I want to know what you're going to talk about to protect my athlete. He paid me to do that. But now, this whole fight didn't happen because the UFC did the minimum. And if I was the UFC, I would have did the same thing. I would do the minimum too because I know this dude, they have an angel investors. Probably going to sue the UFC. You know what I'm saying? If I was Cain Velasquez or TJ De La Chao or this guy, I'll fire these guys. I'll fire these guys today because... you know what I'm saying? It's like, listen, George St. Pierre is a great friend of mine. One of the nicest guys. Let's be real. He's 35 years old. He haven't fought. He can buy anything in life, but he cannot buy times. You understand? You think you're going to see a free agent, the UFC is going to take you to court, you're going to be 40. You understand? And now, about managing guys, I'm not saying I'm the best manager. There's a lot of great managers out there. A lot. But don't fucking hurt people's career. Don't do that. You understand? Make your guys money. You understand? And everybody taking this whole thing, free agency. Now, guys, free agency, Bellator, no thank you. WSF says no thank you. And now you on UFC, now you want to fight, you have to be smart. You understand? And now, like, everybody's a union, free agent, and all the media talking about it. But it's okay to be a free agent, but make sure you communicate with other people. Legal, not legal, you do it off the record. I got a guy coming a free agent. Are you interested? Don't have my guy fight his contract out, and he's fucked after that. And this is what's his name? Lorenz Larkin. What Lorenz Larkin doing now? Nothing. You understand? He's one of the best fighters, great entertainer fight. He should be paid. You understand? And now, like, everybody playing these games, like Tony Ferguson.
Wait, why? Hold on a second. Why don't you think Lorenz Larkin's being signed or talked to? Or
Bruh, this guy should be signed by somebody.
Right.
And I haven't seen him signed by nobody. Yeah. But he's, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know.
He said he got a couple offers, right? Ryzen?
No, he hasn't yet.
No offers.
Yeah.
Okay. Interest?
I think interest, yeah.
No, but the whole thing is, like, but when you run a free agency, you have to have a plan B. Boom. You have a match, the UFC, match it or not match it, I'm out. You understand? If the UFC is not paying to pay you, you understand? In a way, like, one of the things I see right now in the sport.
Is that Pitbull okay?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll...
One of the things I see in the sport, everybody want to be a freaking super agent. Everybody, I'm this. But the whole thing is, when you do a deal for one guy, for Frankie Edgar, don't burn a bridge. It's going to hurt Fabricio, it's going to hurt everybody else. And that's what I see happening. You do a deal for one guy, you burn the bridge, and you kill everybody on your roster. You understand? Why do you think Tony Ferguson's not getting money? Tony Ferguson deserves to get paid. He's one of the best lightweights in the world. Him and Khabib should be fighting. We got offered Aldo. We said no to Aldo because I don't think Aldo deserves it to fight Khabib for the interim lightweight belt. I think Tony deserves it. You understand? But now Tony's not getting paid. But the whole thing is, the whole sport has become more politics than anything else.
All right. Well, so Kane wrote this. I guess I want you to catch me up because, again, we were on vacation, and some of this is just deep shit that we don't know. It says, Cain Velasquez says on December 24th, I was cleared by the doctor 30 minutes ago And then he conferenced Nevada Athletic Commission and spoke to them and re-cleared me with them. So what stopped, if he was cleared by his, I guess when he says the doctor, I mean, he's probably talking about the UFC doctor and the Nevada Athletic Commission, what stopped the fight from happening?
I'm going to tell you what stopped the fight. Bob Bennett guy have principle. The guy have morals. He's not he's probably got
That's
more.
the executive director of Nevada.
Bob
Athletic.
Bennett, listen to me. Bob Bennett is he's not the UFC is not gonna tell him what to do. Nobody's gonna tell this dude what to do. This guy's I think he was in the Marines. He was an FBI agent. This guy is a serious guy, and he have integrity, and he have feelings. I talked about Bennett, and I said, Mr. Bob, and he asked me one question. I said, if you not your fighter, you let him fight. I said, the first thing I'm gonna make sure his health before anything else. You understand? And this, honestly, I have so much. He didn't make this fight happen. I'm not mad at Bob, but I respect him even more because the whole thing. And one thing, Bob, normally he's getting talked by the UFC doctor. The UFC doctor talking to him. Dana's talking to him. All the UFC staff talking to him. But he's seen nobody's talking to him to make this fight happen. Now he said, "Whoa, hold on. I have to make decision, and nobody's pushing. It's something up. He doesn't know what's going on with all this stuff. Now the UFC is not pushing. It's only me and Javier Mendez. Not even Kane's management pushing. It was me and Javier Mendez.
Why aren't they pushing?
I don't know, because the UFC don't want to get sued. If what happened, Kane make this publicly on ESPN. Okay, 6 months later said, no, I have a problem from the fight. Guess what? It's a lawsuit because the UFC know what's going on. The commission can be sued too. You understand?
So Kane, you think is misleading people by saying that he was cleared?
Kane is not misleading people. The whole thing is he might be cleared by his doctor.
Okay.
But they have to take into considerations his statement. That's what is going to hold in court also. He said, I said it, but I went in there. He might have not physical injury. He might have a nerve injury. You understand? Something might happen to him there. I doubt it because I know he was in great shape. You know what I'm saying? I know he's in great shape. But Bob Bennett found himself alone. Is only a manager and a coach. And on the other side, the opposite side, I want my guy is healthy. I want him to go there and win.
So with 6 days left, we heard they tried to find Fabricio a replacement, Junior Dos Santos.
His Junior Dos Santos is full of shit.
He's full of shit?
Yeah, he's 100% full of shit because it was Thursday. Kane was not called out to Saturday. You understand? And Fabricio agreed to take the fight under his terms.
Against Junior?
Yeah.
What were the terms?
Terms like you have to guarantee him a title shot.
Okay.
And make and some other financial
fair, right?
other financial terms, because he's fighting a completely different guy. Guess what? Me and the UFC doesn't have to agree on everything all the time. It's okay. This is business. I can't hold grudges, but the whole thing is like, I was talking to Fabrice yesterday. He's like, man, he's like funny. He said, this guy always talk about me. Like, I don't know. I win. I talk about me. I lose. You talk about me. He said, I'm married. I have kids. I'm good. Stay away from me. Fabrice, everybody knows he's a light-hearted guy. But he's full of shit because yesterday I talked to the UFC. I talked, can we make this happen? I talked to Mick, the new matchmaker.
Right.
By the way, a great guy. Fucking awesome guy. I'm going to miss Joe Silva, but Mick is a great guy too. And I said, no, we can't make it happen. You understand?
So the UFC wouldn't guarantee a title shot if Fabricio beat Junior?
It was other term. Fabricio accepted the fight 100%. He said we would fight him under this term,
right?
Because you find a guy, you find a boxer, then a wrestler.
Oh, it makes sense. That's 2 wins since losing the title. I'm good with that.
You know what I'm saying? I said
Kane wasn't able to show up, so he's taking out another highly ranked
what's so
fighter.
funny? Derek Lewis said, "I want to fight." I called the UFC. They said he's full of shit. He's not even cleared to fight. He's not even medically clear. You know what I'm saying? All these guys went on Twitter. They said the fight.
Stefan
you know what I'm saying?
Struve was another one, right?
I can't say nothing about Stefan Struve because I didn't even know he asked for the fight.
Okay.
But the only people the UFC mentioned was Junior Dos Santos. We said yes, we'll fight Junior Dos Santos. You understand? Fabricio was gonna do. You see what Fabricio did to Kane. You know what I'm saying? Listen, he think because he got caught Fabricio a long time ago. That's not the same Fabricio, guys. Fabricio, he beat Mark Hunt. He beat Roy Nelson. He beat Cain Velasquez.
Yeah.
We saw what Cain Velasquez did to this dude. Junior Dos Santos is a great fighter, but Junior Dos Santos, his face doesn't look the same. His face look the same to you? It's not. It doesn't look like the same guy. Cain restructured his face, and Fabricio will probably do the same thing.
The UFC said, here's Junior Dos Santos. You guys accepted, and the only thing you said was our condition is we win, we get a title shot. So then it's stopped
and a little
back
bit
at
other
the UFC.
things we wanted to.
Oh.
You know, to be fair to the UFC, because I
Right.
don't wanna to be fair to the UFC.
What
And
were those things?
it's just financial terms.
Okay.
It's like little it's like listen, it's
Little
about,
bonus?
It's all about leverage. Yes,
All
of
right.
course.
Yeah.
But Junior Santos can. You think he say close his eyes and beat Fabricio? Man, he can't even. He doesn't even see right. But Cain, the ass whooping, can't give it to him. It's man, man. Honestly, I have so much respect for him. He's still fighting. You understand? The guy been knocked out so many times. You see what Alistair Overeem did to him. You understand? The guy, you know, his chin is gone. You know, his chin is gone. He's not the same fighter. You know.
Goes?
When the UFC when you gave them the terms and
Yeah.
they came back, did you feel like it was a no because of a certain term, or was it a no all the way across the board?
They didn't say fuck you.
Yeah?
Oh, okay.
In a joking matter, you know. So I said no problem, you know. And I said okay, no problem. You know, it's all right. You know, it's if listen, like I said, a promoter and a manager, a promoter fighter, they don't have to agree. But when I say no, he say no. Is respect. We kept it cordial, not like fuck you too, like ego got involved. No, it's okay. You understand? Because I have respect for Dana White. He have respect for me. There's mutual respect. That's it. Because I respect this man because many times guys needed money. He gives them. Guys needed surgery. Meaning, you know, I don't kiss his ass.
It sounds to me like his reply was more towards the condition, the other condition.
Yeah, he say fuck the condition. It's okay.
Not the condition of the automatic title shot, right? Because I believe
That
if
one to
he
me makes sense.
If he beats Cain, he gets an. I believe he gets a title shot.
You know, I don't know exactly, but I think you're right.
Okay.
I think you're right. But the whole thing is like you got all this dude coming out of the woodwork. You know, it's like
So at that point in time, you and Fabricio huddle up and say
that was
"We
Thursday,
went-
but Cain wasn't out yet, guys.
Right.
Cain was out on Saturday. I went on Saturday. I said, "Hey, let's make the Junior Dos Santos fight." I said I was willing to take less financial terms, and they say no.
The UFC.
UFC say no, but this dude keeps saying, "Oh, I say this, buff your chest." You know what I'm saying? He worry about Stefan True because I think Stefan True is gonna whip this ass. I think Stefan's gonna whip his ass.
If this situation would have happened a year ago, under still Zuffa, do you feel like it would have been resolved? Does this feel like the new personality of the UFC that played a part in this?
Man, it's the same thing, man. You know, this new dude, everybody make him look like he's some kind. I met this new dude. He's an okay guy. You know, he's an okay. The first time I met him was kind of like throw me off a little bit.
Why is that?
I was involved in some George stuff. It was
Oh.
George negotiations. I'm trying to clear the water.
Yeah.
We met me and him and George. But after that, I met him in Sacramento, and the guy introduced me to his family and his kids, and he said hello, and we talked about it. And he's like, you know, he seemed like, you know, listen, he's an agent. You know what I'm saying? He's an agent on a very high level. He understand. He have to be good with me. I have to be good with him. He have to be good with other people to make the business good.
Yeah.
And I tell you, people think Dana's passionate. This fucking guy is crazy. He's more passionate because I didn't know what to expect from him, and I never watched the Entourage shit. And I was gonna be insulted the first time we met, and Dana's like, "Hey, let me show you something." And then I put his phone, and he showed me the Entourage thing. I said, "You understand now?" I said, "Yeah, I understand." You understand? It's just I'm passionate. I go off sometimes.
Yeah.
I go off a lot of time.
All right.
You understand?
Well, so no fight then. What's gonna happen next for Fabricio?
Nah, that's it. You know, Steve Miocci's want to come. You know, he want to come back in April. I feel like Cain Velasquez, he disqualified himself from the #1 contender match. Now, Fabricio get fight Steve Miocic. That's it. Because everybody else he have fight. Everybody else has fight. And it just makes sense. It's a rematch right there, boom. You know, Fabricio, listen, there's no excuse. Stevie's a great fighter. He caught him. But Fabricio fought like a madman. He ran to him like, we never see Fabricio fight like that. But, you know, everything can
Well, that
happen.
was like 8 years ago, wasn't it? The Fabricio Jr. fight?
No, I'm talking about the Miocic.
Oh, Miocic, okay.
Miocic, yeah.
Okay.
But Fabricio will whip his ass. Like, the guy, I'm telling you, man, the guy even can't talk right. He doesn't talk right. He's you know, he got to get his brain checks.
Really? Junior?
Yeah, I think Junior China's, I'm telling you, man, he's,
I talked to him about 3 weeks ago.
Listen,
I didn't notice that.
Listen, he's a great fighter, you know what I'm saying? But I have, you know, as a fighter, I think he's great. But the whole thing is, like, if you're going to say a story, I'm gonna take Fabricio's side every time. Wrong or right.
All right.
I'm going to be on Fabricio's side, doesn't matter. You understand? Like they have a saying. Also, Hans will say that. Say, you know, it's a good friend from a fake friend. I said, when a fight happened, I said, a fake friend will break up the fight. A good friend will fight with you.
Yeah,
and I'm going to fight every time.
All right, we're going to take this break. When we come back, we will put to bed Fabricio Verdum versus Cain Velasquez and all the controversies surrounding that. And then we'll keep going down the impressive roster of Ali Abdelaziz, the president of Dominance MMA. Next up, we'll talk Khabib versus Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor versus, I fill in the blank. I don't know. I think those are the only fights he said he would take. Plus, we'll take your calls at 866-522-2846. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM Rush 93.
Got Cody this weekend. We got Cody Garbrandt this weekend.
That's you?
Yeah. Cody's.
Get ready to be schooled by two guys who live in MMA detention. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
Tonight at 8:30 Eastern, it's a Monday night matchup, football matchup, when Matt Stafford and the Detroit Lions compete against Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys.
Who's going to win that?
I hate the Cowboys. I hope the Detroit Lions
They
beat
may
them.
bench some players, though, right?
They may, yeah. And that's, you know
What
what?
happened to Derek Carr?
What's going to happen is this. If they bench them and lose in the playoffs, they'll blame, they'll say, oh, they shouldn't have done that. They lost their momentum. And if you don't rest them and you get them hurt, you're like, oh, what were you thinking? Rest your players. So do what you feel, Cowboys, and just F everybody else, because I've seen this plenty of times, man. You don't know. It's just fate, whatever happens.
I'm picking the Lions.
Well, let me tell you something. You can listen to the Lions call on Sirius 83, XM226, or the Cowboys call on Sirius 81, XM225. Enjoy the national broadcast on Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88, or listen on your team's play-by-play calls on your phone with the Sirius XM app. You got Ali Abdelaziz here in studio with us, manager to Fabricio Verdum, Habib Nurmagomedov, Frankie Edgar. The list can go on and on. We would go straight into another commercial break if I were to name them all. So let's take some calls, and then we'll start tackling Habib versus Ferg or Connie Mack. We'll see what's up with that. First, let's talk to Orlando in Connecticut. He's been waiting the longest. What's up, Orlando?
What's going on, guys? Been listening for a while. So my question for you guys is, Johnny Hendricks is fighting to stay on the roster. I've noticed ever since USADA that his performance in the octagon and his physical look has changed. Do you guys think now that he's off the juice, which I think he was, that he's going to win and stay on the roster, or is he going to move on after, was it Friday or Saturday?
Well, I think what's hurt Johnny is probably all the changes in his camp. For one, his longtime head coach, and so then there's been a few different coaches that have been part of it. I think he carries a lot of mental stress just from losing weight. As far as the other stuff, from what I know, he's passed every test. He's been a lifelong wrestler and MMA competitor, and I don't know that he's ever had that, so I don't want to speculate. How about you guys?
Yeah, we can't really speculate on that, but I think he used to push the pace in his fights, and he got away from that a little bit, and he let fighters push the pace on him. And I think a lot of his problems are maybe the camp and a little bit mental. But when he's on, you could see what he's done against some of the best fighters in the world.
You know, Ali was talking about George St. Pierre, and I agree with the fact that he's standing out right now as being the greatest ever because everyone else has had these little subtractions in their career. George didn't. He barely got out of there against Johnny Hendricks, but he did, all right? And if you'll notice, if you look back at the champs like Cruz and GSP and just the great ones, they're so obsessed with being great and being better that that's what you need because you have all these killers chasing you in every division. And I think Johnny, as good of a friend as he is to the show, he got to the top. And I just don't know that the hunger to keep growing and keep being better and protecting that belt was there like I've seen in other champions.
No, so some people, I think John is a great fighter.
Thank you, Orlando, for the call. And the kind words, too. Thanks for listening.
John is a great fighter, but I think one thing with Johnny, sometimes, you lose hunger. You didn't get motivated, especially when you do start changing. A lot of fighters, sometimes they want something better. But they don't realize maybe what you have, that's what got you here. What got them there, the system they have, team takedown. I think that was a great system for him. It worked for him, but this team broke down.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the same for Johnny. Like you can't say about Pat is the same thing. You can't say these guys was on a PED because they never got caught with PED, and I think that would be wrong to kind of accuse them for it. Because it wouldn't be right. But Johnny Hendricks, if he's on, man, he can knock anybody out. But he have a tough fight this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Neil Magny. All right, let's go to Dan in Oregon. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
What's up, gentlemen? Merry Christmas to y'all.
You too.
Same to you.
Hey, man, I got to bring up something. So after we lost Kane in that fight, I started looking at other fights on this card, and I'm super stoked for TJ Dillashaw versus John Lineker. I'm going to throw something out there to you guys. This might blow your mind. In the last 7 years, John Lineker is 23-2 in MMA. That's
amazing at any level,
streak. Yeah, man. And Hands of Stone versus Dillashaw, man. These guys are out there fighting for that championship. I think these guys might get a little mean towards each other on this one. And, man, it's 3 rounds, so who knows who's going to get that. What do you guys think of this fight, man?
What do you think, Goes?
I think TJ needs to be patient in the fight and not get forced into what John has done to other fighters and force them to fight his fight. I think if DJ can be very disciplined with the Bang Ludwig system and just pick his shots, the movement I think is very important.
Maybe resort back to your wrestling a little.
If he can,
get this guy down off the ground and make him use some energy. Because you're right, he does seem to draw everybody into a firefight, and his chin holds up, and he really does he does seem to have some power. So I think you're right, Goes. You just have to play your game. The
3 rounds versus 5 rounds is big, though.
Dillashaw has a coach that's just as obsessive of the details as Johnny's former coach, Mark Lehman. So these guys will have them prepared. It's whether the fighter executes or not. Who do you like in that fight, Ali?
I think, TJ Dillashaw is more well-rounded. He's smarter fighter. The one thing he doesn't need to do is just get in a firefight with Johnny, and I don't think he will. But, he's tough too. The Brazilian guy is really tough too.
Yeah.
Lineker's tough. But I think, TJ is going to use his range. He's going to pick him apart from the outside, and he's going to, try to use his wrestling a little bit, But, I think Johnny Lurk can have a good guillotine, but the guys from Alpha Male, or used to be Alpha Male, they all have good guillotine defenses.
Yeah.
I got to go with TJ in this fight, but, you never know.
Dan, it's been a minute. You got something else?
2 more things, man.
Mira
Everyone
este
is sleeping on fight of the year. It's got to be Conduit versus Lawler, man. I was rewatching that. Round 5 has got to be round of the year, too. I mean, you might throw some challengers out there, but don't sleep on that. And Ali, would you speak to the bottleneck we got going at the lightweight and welterweight division? You look at the roster and how many fighters they have signed up, and everyone's talking about this 165-pound division, 175. Do you think that's something the UFC should do? Back to you guys.
Thanks, Dan. So what we've been saying for a while, and Dan's asking about, is should they, and the UFC just seems to be in love with new belts. How about creating 165 and 175 and pulling out 170? Just one more champion, because you'd be trading 2 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the guys that seem to move around might adjust themselves a little bit. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
But I think that can hurt the star power a little bit, the UFC, and it can hurt their pay-per-view numbers, because when you have so many champions, you have so many shows, live gates, but people are going to have so many champions, so many people, marquee names, they're not going to know which one to focus on. It's going to take each, and the UFC said they will never follow boxing, but it seemed like they are doing it now, and I can see it happen.
Boxing.
Would you go all the way, though? Because at that
No,
point,
you
make
know what? No,
195, right?
I stopped at 85.
You need
85?
Honestly, one thing if you need to do from 185 to 205 is a big weight cut.
But there's not many 205ers right now. Have you noticed? It's like Jones, Cormier, Johnson, Bader, and then
go to
Teixeira.
Russia. Russia got like
you're right.
fighters.
I know they're coming. They're coming.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna
right
get to
now,
Russia.
Listen,
we
I
don't
got
have
Russia.
those.
I got Russia on leg down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Let's do one more, and then we'll kind of touch on Habib versus Ferg or Connie Mack. What's up, Marco from Waco?
Marco from Waco. ¿Qué pasa, Vatos and Ali?
¿Cómo estás?
Hey, first of all, within you and me, Sirius XM, fuck you. And
Wow.
on Johnny Hendricks, he loses his superpowers when he shakes his beer, man. I think that's what it is, but, we'll see. And Ali, you got me. I was all along with you when you were talking about Ken and his relationship with Dion Redney. I was all along with you that, it sucks that Verdun has to lose $50,000 on his camp. But then you started talking shit about Junior Dos Santos, man, and said he lost his beer. Last time I remember, Stipe Miocic murked Verdun, man. Did Verdun lose his beer? I mean, a little bit outrageous what you said. Junior still holds a win over Verdun, man. And that is a fight that everybody has.
My man. Hey, that was 7 years ago. After this fight, Fabricio dominated everybody in the UFC. Fabricio did not lose a fight after this fight. He dominated everybody. But listen to me.
7 years ago, Junior Dos Santos knocked him out of the UFC. He had to go to Strikeforce, And Junior Dos Santos became a champion in the interim. So it is a fight that everybody wants to see. I mean, it's 2 former champions.
We wanted the fight.
Who gets the championship? Who gets the title shot? Because people will be clamoring for that. I understand you get to make you. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
We wanted the fight. Like if you hear me clearly, we wanted the fight. But the whole thing is, to be honest with you, it was up to the UFC to make the fight or not. And far as I know, Junior Dos is not even fit to fight. You know what I'm saying? But this is what, not the UFC telling me that, it's what people in his camp telling me that. But at the end of the day, like, Junior Dos Santos have an obsession over Fabricio Verdun. If you go watch all interviews, Cain Velasquez, you never see me say anything about Cain Velasquez because Cain is great. But if you watch Junior Dos Santos, when your countryman fighting Cain, he was cheering for Cain. When Fabricio was fighting Miocic, he was cheering for Miocic. And I think he have an obsession. with Fabricio, I think maybe a jealousy or he think he beat him before and he become the champion, But like Junior Dos Santos, like he's been, I have no problem with the guy, but like I say, if you my friend and somebody talk bad about you, I'm gonna back you 100%, right or wrong. But I think right now Fabricio is right. I think Junior Dos Santos want to get some, nobody talking about him anymore. He's out of the picture a little bit, and he just want to get himself like the same thing Floyd Mayweather talking. He talking about Conor to keep himself in the media, and I think this is what Junior Dos Santos doing right now. Just want to keep himself in the media relevant because, he's kind of relevant, but he's not, number 1 or number 2. I don't know what's his number right now. Maybe 6, 7.
He's number 3. He's number 3.
All right, Marco. Thanks very much. Go ahead. Finish.
Okay. Well, let's say, best case scenario, Verdun Kane or Verdun Dos Santos, because Dos Santos is bringing some heat.
Verdun Miocic.
Goal for you guys.
Verdun Miocic.
All right, thanks, Marco.
No, it's not
gonna. You're done with Kane. You guys are moving on to Miocic.
We're moving on. I think right now this is the 3rd time. Much respect for Kane. I hope he feel better. Because Kane is a good guy. You know what I'm saying? And he called Fabricio. And he apologized, and this is for me. This is a man. He called Fabricio and directly, and there's no hard feeling against Kane. You know what I'm saying? But just gotta move on from Kane. Fabricio's have no interest fighting Kane anymore.
Okay, let's talk about Khabib versus Tony or versus Conor McGregor. Where do we stand with that? Update us.
Listen, of course. Khabib, we wanted, everybody make a mistake. They kind of begged to fight Conor. Khabib said, I do not give a shit about this guy. If he want to fight me, he can fight me. But, everybody know the last thing Conor wanted to do, fight Khabib. I don't care what Dana White say, what anybody said. You know what I'm saying? Conor right now, much respect for him. He's a 2-time champion. Nobody ever did that in history. But he's very smart businessman. He have a good management. They're very smart. They have good head on their shoulders. Much respect for all these guys. I'm not hating on these guys. But they know who's the guy, who put beating on him. It's style. Just style make fights. You know what I'm saying? Do you think Khabib is like going to be like Eddie Alvarez, try to dance around, stuff like that? Nah. It's going to be take his ass down, put a big hole in his head. That's it. He's not getting up.
So Conor originally said, the baby, I want to take some time off, and he thought it was going to be in March. Then he heard the baby was going to be here in May. He recently did an interview that said, wow, I just wanted some time off through the holidays. So it almost sounded like he would take a fight before May when the baby's due.
Conor like to fight, man. The guy, if you look at him since 2012, he fought 3-4 times a year. The guys, that's what makes him so good. But the whole thing is, he dodged Frankie Edgar for 2 years because they know, that was the bad matchup for him. Other guys he can beat. The whole thing is, I already went through this route as Frankie. Now I learned. I know better. I know not to chase Conor because more you chase Conor, more they're gonna be more set to be like no. Right now, Tony Ferguson, to me, Conor caught in front of him. He caught in front of Khabib. It's all right. The UFC did their thing. We moved on. It was wrong what the UFC did. I'm not gonna say that was right.
What are you talking about?
About Eddie Alvarez and Khabib.
Oh yeah, okay.
The situation. I don't agree with them, but they made it right somehow to Khabib. They made it right, and now I believe Tony is the number 1 contender.
How'd they make it right?
They made it right for Khabib. Khabib, they make it right.
Okay.
Now,
because he doesn't. I asked because he doesn't seem to be consumed by money, so I don't even know if
he doesn't. Money. The whole thing is Khabib got money.
Okay.
That's what makes him scary, because he doesn't seem to be
right.
Khabib is not one guy. Khabib, he can retire today, and he will be set for rest. Khabib got money. Khabib is very well financially established.
Okay.
Khabib is
Khabib used to say, if I don't fight next, I'm gonna be, they're not going to Russia. I'm gonna be really mad. I may not go back.
One
to
thing
UFC.
about this kid,
then recently started taking the Ferguson or entertaining the Ferguson possibility.
One thing about Khabib, this kid is not say something is bullshit with him. Is whatever he says he's a serious guy, man. Khabib is a serious guy. It's no game. He doesn't play game with people. He's a serious guy.
Right.
You understand? And just in a way he said, listen, Conor's gonna run for me. I'm not gonna chase him because he's gonna say I'm bagging and all that. I said Tony's the 9-fight winning streak. I'm 8-fighting winning streak. This is the fight is gonna happen. he's not gonna go fight Aldo or none of this nonsense. Because for what? He fight for legacy. Khabib fight for legacy. He doesn't fight for money, and that's what makes fighters so good when he fight for legacy. When you start fighting for money, it can end very, very bad for you.
All right, I think Goes has a question. But, Danny, did we do a half or a full commercial break last time?
We did a half.
A half. All right, let's get this last half out of the way, and then I'll let Goes have a run of questions here. We're talking Khabib versus Tony Ferguson or Khabib versus Conor McGregor, but we're definitely not talking Khabib versus Aldo, at least according to Ali Abdelaziz, his manager. It's a fun show here coming off the Christmas holiday. I hope you all had a nice Christmas. And we're throwing some George Michael and some Wham your way because if you haven't heard, the pop superstar passed away yesterday at the age of 53. So, again, may he rest in peace, and our thoughts and prayers with his family and friends. We'll be right back after this break.
It was too much. I just enjoy management. I wasn't enjoying really.
Charm, compassion, common sense. These guys have none of that. You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
It's college football bowl season on SiriusXM. You can listen to live play-by-play of over 30 bowls on SiriusXM and on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of every bowl game, visit SiriusXM.com/bowl schedule. Following us after the first hour, we'll be busted open with the 2016 special edition. All right, Goes. You want to have it all lead for a few questions?
Yeah. Well, on the same topic of Khabib and Conor McGregor, I know a lot of people would share the same sentiment with you. I know you feel like Khabib will smash him, and a lot of people say that. Conor McGregor's gotten better, and he's closed the gap on some guys, but I don't think he's been able to close that gap on Khabib. How big, in your opinion, is that gap between them?
Bro, I never say Khabib, I think Khabib will beat him. I'm biased towards Khabib, but make no mistake. Conor McGregor is he's not a joke, man. He's a great fighter. He's pound for pound number 2 for a reason. As arguably, but Conor McGregor is no slouch. If I sit here and say Conor McGregor is not good, I'll be lying on my ass because Conor McGregor is is one of the greatest. He's great. He's not no George St. Pierre great, but he's great. He's gonna be go down to history in 10 years. People gonna say Conor McGregor was great, and I'm not. Before I said he's just a good fighter. Remember in the past I said he's just a good fighter. I think Conor McGregor, he put himself in a position. He's a great fighter. You understand? But I think if one guy out there can retire undefeated, it's Khabib. I don't think he can be beaten. And for two reasons. The way he does one thing so well, and nobody can stop it. Michael Johnson beat Tony Ferguson. And we saw Michael Johnson is no clout. Michael Johnson beat Barboza, dominated Barboza, guys. Barboza is a great fighter too. You understand? We saw what Khabib did. He might hit Khabib a couple of times. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna take you down." And nobody dominate Michael Johnson like this. Just nobody's. The new Michael Johnson, nobody. And Khabib is. He does one thing really well, and I think what he does well, this is the least Conor does well. Like Conor is one of the best strikers in the UFC, I believe today. I gotta give it to him. But when you come to grappling and stuff like that, it's like between a white belt and a black belt. This is gonna be the difference. But in standing, it's gonna be also like Khabib is a white belt and Conor's a black belt. You understand? This is why our sport is so beautiful, because it gonna every fight starts standing. Conor got the first chance, but Khabib got the second chance.
Stylistically, which fight do you think is more difficult, Ferguson or McGregor?
I think Ferguson's tougher fight. Ferguson have a great stamina. He doesn't, he's very unpredictable, and he doesn't, he's good on his back. He's good with his elbows. I think Ferguson is a much tougher fight than Aldo too. Much tougher fight.
Can you update us on that, Aldo? And then recently overnight we heard Nate Diaz might be in this ball game too for the, I guess it'd be for an interim title. As bizarre as that is.
Me and Nate was talking in Sacramento. We sat down for 2 hours and talked. Like, Nate's not even a question. If Nate
versus Khabib is not being talked about.
If you're willing to pay Nate is not joking. He said he want to get paid 20. If you're not gonna pay Nate $10 million, he's not fighting. He got paid all this year. He said I'm not fighting, and finally got paid. And Nate is. These boys, whatever they say, they don't fake shit too. Nate, whatever they say, this is real. I know Nate and Khabib, they don't like each other, but Nate is my friend. Khabib is my brother. I know they got into it, but I like Nate. But I don't think that's the smartest fight right now for Nate to take. Why he fight Khabib and his team can have to counter.
Has there been any contracts out there?
No, this Nate fight never brought up. It's
not even nothing true to it.
It's 100% is bullshit. It's not. But the Aldo thing was real.
Yeah.
But what Khabib have to gain fighting Aldo? Zero. But what happened is now, Aldo have in his head, he have nothing to lose. If he beat Khabib, he'll fight Conor. Conor, I put money on it. Conor will never fight Aldo again. Never. For what? He beat him in 30 seconds. And if Khabib fight Aldo, beat Aldo in 16 seconds or 17 seconds, Conor said, yeah, I beat him in 13 seconds. It will give Conor ammunition to run away from Khabib even more. You understand? This is why if Khabib beat him by decision, second round, third round, end of the first round, still Conor outdid him. You understand? Mm-hmm. And Conor said, yeah.
Khabib can always say, well, I've never lost. How's that sound?
Yeah, but
right?
For sure.
There's always a counter.
For sure. That's why I'm having a little bit problem. Conor's second on the pound for pound list, but he's just tapped. You know what I'm saying? It's like how you put a guy.
You're looking at the wrong list. You need to look at the USA Today Sports MMA Junkie.
What about Dominic Cruz? This guy haven't lost for a long time.
Yeah.
John Jones. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
where does that fight sit? Aldo and it was turned down, and that's
this fight. Khabib said.
He won't reconsider it.
Khabib said it perfectly. I don't bully the little.
Right.
You understand? Khabib gained nothing beating Aldo. If he beat him, he beat a little guy.
But McGregor is also a featherweight.
Bro, McGregor is no damn featherweight, bro. He's big.
I know he's big. But I'm saying a lot of people understand it as, well, could that matchup be something?
Let me predict something.
All right, one minute. Go ahead.
McGregor's next fight is going to be Tyrone Woodley for the welterweight title. This is the fight that's going to happen.
He's usually pretty good with his predictions, too.
I'm telling you, this is the fight that's going to happen. Everything signed. This is what's going to happen. That's it.
Let me give some shout-outs to Jaime Marquez, Abdullah Al-Galini.
Salam alaikum, brother.
David Rourke, Davey Pooh, Tina Reyes, James Albanese, and Annie Hill. Oh, and Raymond Alkaya. Shout out to you all, and you're all stupid because we've been saying for a long time that yes, there's no sound for the first 5-10 minutes. We're setting things up. We're just letting you know we're here and we're alive. And the show starts at 10 a.m. Pacific with a little bit of an intro, and at 10:02 we start talking. So as much as I love you, and you get your shout out, you're stupid because we're like 3 weeks in now, and this has been going on. There will be sound. There's always sound. It's a 2-hour show 5 times a week. So we're going to take this break, reset things up, and we'll keep talking here with Ali Abdelaziz, who's very good at predictions, and he just said Conor versus Tyron Woodley. We'll get back to that when we come back after the break.
Man, where it says in fighting, I have a mean card too. Tell them with kindness, and I'm going to leave you alone. I'm going to leave you alone about this subject. Tony, my boy Cody.
You put the boom boom into my heart. You send the blues sky high when your loving thoughts jitterbug into my brain. Go to bang 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 till my feet do the same. Something fine, something ain't right. My best friend told me to you last night. Left me sleeping in my bed. I was dreaming, but I should have been with you instead. Wake me up.
All right, here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. Want to give a shout out to Lucas Taylor. He says, cheers, boys, for the work. Currently in Thailand on holiday. Normally listen from home in New Zealand. Also, Alex Fugan says, he said JDS is done and wants no part of Verdum. I like Verdum, but if he fights the JDS he fought the first time, same ending, so that's towards Ali. Well, that was 8 years ago, that fight, Alex. So I don't think it would go that way. I don't know who would win, because if I did, I'd be a rich guy. I'd walk up to that Mandalay Bay counter and put a lot of money down on every fight, but I don't know. Let's see here. A few other comments. Solar Mahan says the UFC's going the way of WWE. They've done that a long time ago. Joe Mosqueda from Houston says, why won't Verdum fight the Black Beast? And you're saying he wasn't even cleared, right? So
he wasn't even cleared to fight.
Right. He wasn't even cleared to fight. So it's just one of those where the fighter puts something out and the fans.
Been the easiest money he ever made.
Gravitate.
Yeah, easy.
Woodley versus McGregor. You really believe that's the fight,
Yeah.
huh? What leads you to believe that that's the next fight?
Because Conor is very smart. Now he have a featherweight belt he lost. He have the lightweight belt. If you go fight welter, he have nothing to lose. I go there, hey, I fight a bigger guy, and if he won, he make history. You be like the greatest. I'll be like he'll be the greatest. He'll be even more greater than George St. Pierre. If he beat John Woodley, he will bypass. You know, he might own Dana's house. I'm telling you.
Did you see Dana recently said he doesn't want to see Conor versus Nate Part 3? And we all thought that might be a possibility.
I think it's all negotiation tactic, because if Dana interested in something, they're going to know, wow, he interesting. But listen, Khabib get used a lot. He's the boogeyman. They use Khabib when Eddie and because Eddie and Conor a week before the fight, this was no deal. When Khabib got into the picture, everybody said, okay, I don't want to fight this guy. All right, well, Eddie, he fought for the same contract. He didn't make $1 extra. He was trying to make more money. When Khabib come to the picture, everybody said, okay, all right, I'll take the deal, whatever you give me. Conor said, okay, I'll get it. I get it. He got it. You understand? Now, if Dana go out there and said, Khabib's going to fight Conor, when Conor come back, now when Conor fight Woodley, everybody's like, okay, maybe I wouldn't ask for this much money, because that's okay. Khabib is ready to fight. You understand?
Yeah.
And now Khabib has become the boogeyman the UFC used to leverage for negotiation. I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that.
You think in the end Khabib and Ferguson gets done or not?
I like some reporter yesterday, that some website reported, oh, Khabib and Ferguson, I think it is Scumbag. What's the name of the website?
I don't know.
Scumbag.
I don't know. What was it? You want me to look it up?
Some website. They say Khabib and Ferguson, the biggest scumbag in this business by far. Khabib and Ferguson confirm. Some scumbag, this guy is fucking biggest scumbag, actually.
Okay, this one says, this is from Bloody Elbow, one dig.
Exactly. You hit it on the nail. Anyway, move on. They're not important.
So it's not done?
Of course not.
Okay.
The guy is he want to talk about Khabib all the time. He doesn't know Khabib. Khabib doesn't like him. Nobody like him. This guy all talk about these guys, but this guy's, it's just he doesn't know anything. Because if this fight done, I will know. I will be able to say it's done.
Yeah.
It's not even close to being done, because what happening? Tony Ferguson want to get paid.
Right.
Dana don't want to, he said he have a contract. But
okay. So then if Tony Ferguson doesn't fight, then what's next for Khabib?
I don't blame Tony Ferguson want to get paid. He should get paid. And I think Khabib give him a little bit leverage, because he said, I'm only fighting Tony, and Khabib is helping him out. It's funny because Tony Ferguson repost Khabib's post about Aldo. it's kind of funny, you know, but it is what it is. You know, Tony Ferguson.
About I don't want to fight a little guy?
Yeah, you know, Tony Ferguson reposted that, but Tony's a great fighter. He should be getting paid. You know,
this is what the fans think.
Yeah.
All right, respectfully towards you and your fighter.
Yeah.
When he declined Aldo, they're saying as much as Khabib and his team are saying that Khabib's a bad matchup for Conor, fans and a lot of media believe that Aldo's a bad matchup for Khabib, and that's why the father turned it down or whatever.
Huh?
Because
man,
Edgar, again, your client respectfully had a tough time taking down Aldo.
Yes.
Mendez took him down once or twice, right?
Yeah.
In the fight. So Aldo seems to be tough to take down because he's athletic and fast.
You're fighting a guy 195 pounds. Normally, you walk around.
No, I understand. He's a bigger version of Edgar.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know, Aldo's. Aldo when he beat Frankie, he ran for Frankie the whole time. He was running. You understand? You're not gonna run away from this bear. This bear gonna get a hold of you and gonna put you on your ass. You understand?
Well, that's like I said. So
but the whole thing is.
What are we closest
Much
to?
respect for Aldo. Aldo's.
These are all great fighters.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, but the whole thing is, what if you're a manager? What do you have gain? Because one thing too, if Khabib beat Aldo, said, oh, now we gotta fight Tony. You wanna cut the head of the snake?
I understand that.
We wanna
makes sense.
We wanna kill Tony. Conor have nowhere to go. And after that, we wanna kill Conor. If you kill Aldo, you have to kill Tony. You have to kill Conor. But if you kill Tony, that's it. He's dead. You understand? After that, we're gonna go for the head of the snake, the big cobra, Conor. You understand?
So you think in the end, Ferguson will sign and he will fight Khabib? That'll be Khabib.
I hope, man. I hope his team come together and they make peace with the UFC because they don't have peace right now, and they will get signed. He deserves it.
Ferguson's the same. Ferguson and Conor have the same manager.
Yeah. I don't know how Conor gonna like that, but you know, but I hope he deserve it. You know, he deserve it. I support Tony Ferguson.
Ali, I know you love your job, and a lot of people look at your job and go, man, that seems like a nightmare. One thing that's been going on that's kind of the norm now for fighters is they have to be patient because they don't really know what's ahead of them. Sometimes they're promised one thing or the direction looks like it's going this way, it goes the other way. How do you talk to your clients and how do you tell them to be patient? Because that's a difficult conversation.
Before I sign any guys, my man Danny Egan sitting here, I say one thing. I promise you nothing. Because a lot of managers make this huge mistake. I promise you this. When Ryan LaFleur talked to me recently, I promise you nothing. Cody Garbrandt, he can talk to him. I say, I promise you nothing. Frankie Edgar, I promise you nothing. I don't promise nobody nothing because the worst thing you can do, promise. And after that, we'll become a team. Me and you, we work with the UFC, try to get you the best deal, business. And that's why, I'm thanks God, knock on the wood, my guys stay. They don't, 7 years, they stay. And nobody leaves. You never know, somebody might leave me tomorrow. You understand? It was a lot of, I have a lot of haters. By the way, I want to shout out to all my haters. And I say, hey, I'm getting bored because all my haters start loving me. I need more haters.
You like haters? If you don't have haters, you ain't
man,
popping.
I'm telling you, man, I got stalkers, man, and it's kind of getting boring now because I don't have more haters, and I like haters, motivate me.
Yeah.
You understand? When I left the World Series of Fighting, people start talking. I was like, boom, sign like 30 more fighters, and I like haters.
Well, let's get through that roster. Actually, let's take Brandon from Louisville. He's been waiting, and then we'll talk about Cody Garbrandt. That's his latest addition. He fights Dominic Cruz at UFC 207 this Friday, not Saturday, Friday night. It is a pay-per-view, and it's headlined by Amanda Nunes defending her title against Ronda Rousey.
Woo!
All right, here we go. Brandon from Louisville, what's up, man?
You know what? Fuck the holiday season, guys. It's still Sun Gun Monday. Blow that bitch up.
Go for it.
Wow.
You got some noob caller coming in here. I don't know, Gainesville from Rhode Island or Tallahassee from Vermont or whoever the fuck that guy is. You're going to come in here and just blatantly accuse Johnny Hendricks of juicing? What the fuck, man? Johnny Hendricks has been great in the show. Probably some new guy you don't know the past. Hendricks has been in that studio many a time. He's been a great friend of those guys sitting there. Has been excellent on this show. And you're just going to go ahead and say, oh, he's flipping because he must have been juicing at USADA. Motherfucker, maybe he's flipping because he's been in wars. He's bled in that cage for us. Maybe he's flipping because he's had some training camp issues. Maybe he's flipping because they've changed the way you cut weight. motherfucker gonna come like that, stun gun his ass.
I agree with you. Fuck this guy.
Damn, Brandon from Louisville calling
Well,
out
that's
Orlando from Connecticut. All right. That's collar drama, we call it.
That's all right.
What else
I
is
like
on your mind, buddy?
That was really the only reason I called. I do have a question for Gozy, though.
What's up?
Goz, you see Rogue One?
Yeah, I actually finally saw it.
Yeah? Okay, if you can put a ragtag ensemble of junkies together to complete a secret mission, who are you going with?
How many do I get? And what's the mission? 'Cause
Let's give you 5, and you got to blow up the Death Star. Fuck it.
5
I
blow
don't
up the
know.
Death Star. All right, give me till the end of the show. I'll figure it out. But I'll have a good crew.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Brandon.
Later, guys.
All right,
Happy
we'll see ya.
holidays.
All right. Let's see here. Ali, Cody Garbrandt versus Dominic Cruz. That's the next fighter you have going on. And then the next day, you fly to New York because you have 3 or 4 going there.
5.
5, including
4 title fights and one more fight.
4 title fights. All right, so you have Branch. You have Marlon.
Gaethje.
You have Gaethje.
Jake Shield.
And Jake Shields.
And
is
Vagab.
challenging for the title. And who's the other one?
Vagab. This
Vagab.
Russian guy is 20-0.
Okay, so you got a busy week coming up.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with Garbrandt first against Dominic Cruz. Anybody that picks Garbrandt, I believe, is because they think the hands are just too heavy and he's going to touch Cruz's chin.
First of all, like, when you look at Cody Garbrandt, said, "Oh man, this is a bad boy, tattoos, all this." I'll tell you something, man. This is a great human being. This kid has such a big heart. He's a sweetheart, great guy. I really love this guy. I only been working for him 3 months, man, but just he's inspiring me on some of the stuff he does, and he keep growing in my face as a man. Get to the fight. I was very worried. Dominic Cruz, he's one of the best guys playing mental game with other guys, you know. And I was very worried about he's playing mental game with Cody. But one thing I'm telling you this, not one bit he's in his head. It's not. You know why? Cody said, man, you know, he's like, I'm from the street. I said, guys like him, you know, we rob guys like him, you know, for him to talk, you know, for him to talk. And I have nothing but respect for Dominic. I think Dominic is a great fighter, one of the greatest, you know. But, you know, Cody been sparring 10 rounds. Condition is great. His training is great. Talk to his coaches. And the whole thing is to fight a guy like that for 5 rounds. And Cody is a great wrestler too. I don't think Dominic is going to be able to take him down and hold him down. He might take him down, but to hold him down, he can forget about it. You know? And I get to grapple with Cody like about a month ago. And I'm telling you, man, his grappling defense is fucking insane. And he's really strong for his size. Extremely explosive, athletic. And to fight a guy like that with this kind of firepower for 5 rounds, he at least gonna hit you a couple of times. But when you get hit by these monsters, it might be a good night. But, you know, I think Corey's gonna stop Dominic, and he's gonna be the new UFC bantamweight champion. This is my prediction. Of course, I'm gonna be biased. Of course, I'm gonna stick with my guy. But I'm really, really not just saying that. You know, everybody is gonna pick Dominic's, and I understand why. But I know a little more than everybody else.
Did you like when they had their little interview not too long ago?
It's funny, I was in Sacramento and they're supposed to have them next to each other. They said no. And they separated them because you know, it's animosity there. Like you know, I think Dominic said some stuff on you know, Cody's family, some is personal. You understand? And in a way, like, he's so passionate. You know, he might, you know, it's better to keep them away from each other. You know, just let them fight when the kids.
Is it true Cormier almost broke up a fight backstage? Were you there?
No, I heard about it, but yeah, you know, yeah, he did. The Cormier did, and you know, Cody's a fireball. You know, he's you know. And
Garbrandt, by the way, folks, is the guy that jumped off the bleachers in the Ultimate Fighter when it was Faber versus.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he was the one. Remember, Andre Feely was talking. But then when Connor said, well, what are you going to do? You're going to do something about it. Garbrandt said, I'm going to do something about it. And that's when they got up in each other's face.
He pushed Connor. He pushed Connor. But in a way, listen to me.
So I know he's gangster.
But listen, they forget about being these guys athlete. They're great athletes. On Friday night, they're going to you go inside the cage and they're going to lock the cage. And after that, Cody Garbrandt is going to win the lightweight belt. And it's funny because me and him was texting the other day, and I put it online, and I was like, he have this kid named Madden.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that story.
He have this kid named Madden, I guess when Cody was amateur, this kid was going through cancer. And after that, he's surviving cancer. Cody's winning, surviving cancer. Cody winning, and they stayed together. And Cody helped him kind of go through the time. And after that, he's like, I really want to give the kid a belt. After that, I said, no problem. I'll get a hold of the UFC, and they'll give me a replica belt. He said, I'll keep the replica. I'll give him the real belt.
That was cool to see.
Honestly, since this moment, man, Cody Garbrandt, because this is, it's a 12 pound of gold, and this is a very expensive belt. Forget about, and he willing to give it to a kid. And for me, it blew my mind because I don't know anybody who would do that. Nobody. I can see Khabib doing that. He's the type of guy like that too. But in a way, like, it blew my mind. I was like, you wouldn't give your whole hard work to a kid. And that was so awesome. And I never put stuff like that online, and I did it. Just to kind of, I don't know if it was right or wrong for me to do it. I just did it.
No, it was a great story, man.
It was awesome, man. It was just, that's why I have so much more respect for this kid, because who he is as a man, who he is as a person. He's a great kid.
You said you have some free agents coming up. Can you tell us who it is? Branch, Shields, Moraes? Anybody else?
Yeah, but the whole thing is, when people talk about free agent, I mean, okay, I'm about to get you for your money. No, it's a free agent. It's very easy. But me, I never let my guys fight the last contract on their money. Frankie Edgar have one fight left on his contract.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
He have one fight left on his contract. Kevin Gastelum.
You want to sign him before the fight happens.
Kevin Gastelum just have one fight left. Kevin Gastelum just got paid. Big money. You know what I'm saying? He just got paid.
Would they already resign?
Justin have one fight left. David have one fight left. Marlon on his last fight.
Okay, so they're all on their last fight. They haven't re-signed yet.
Man, but the whole thing is, World Series of Fighting and me, we are a big family.
Right.
They always take care of these guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. If anybody even leave, it's gonna be an agreement. It'll be like, okay, guys. Marlon was supposed to left, but Bruce Dyfik and Carlos and Reu sat down. Can we have Marlon for one more fight? Marlon, the great kid he is, amazing guy. He said, okay, guys, I owe you this. I'll give you one more fight. You understand? David Branch have one more fight. But the whole thing is, I'm not going to be taking all the champion away from them because they take care of him very well.
Yeah.
You understand? But if somebody want to leave, and I can't force them, but I ain't not going to encourage any of the guys at World Series of Fighting to leave. That will never happen because that will be, this is my friends.
We talked to Marlon the other day, and we said that 35, the bantamweight, is probably the one division that worldwide is strong because Bellator has Eduardo Dantas, World Championship has Viviana Fernandez, Marlon goes with World Series, and then Cruz. So we set up a little mini tournament, and in the end it was, according to Marlon, right? We just went in alphabetical order. Marlon beats Cruz, right? And Dantas beats Fernandez.
Yeah.
And then he said in the end he beats Dantas.
He will whip Dantas' ass.
Yeah. But it was interesting. It was interesting to hear him talk about those possibilities. You could tell it's, as a fighter, he's going to get, it sounds like World Series does take care of him. We really have heard that. And obviously if he comes to the UFC, he'll get taken care of there too. But now it looks like
Moraes, not as much as the World Series.
But now Moraes is reaching to the point where I think the competitive juices of fighting the best in the world.
To be honest with you, in a way, I don't think it's fair to World Series of Fighting or Marlon because he ran through everybody. But he's fighting a very tough guy, two guys. Like, he's fighting a really tough guy. I don't want to disrespect his opponents. He's fighting a really tough Brazilian guy. A lot of people, I think it'll be his toughest fight inside the WSF cage. But at the end of the day, man, free agency is not. It's about what's the best for the guys in future.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
That's it.
Gaethje's another one coming up, right?
Yeah. Gaethje's, he's one guy, World Series of Fighting, just going to have to sit down with him and, just talk to him, and he's very easy to work with too.
He's exciting, man.
He's
literally,
to be honest with you,
top 5, one of my favorite fighters to just watch. I don't care about money or titles. I just love his fights.
Bro, listen,
I have to stop what I'm doing to make sure, hey, everybody, shut up. Shut up. Turn down the volume. I want to watch Gaethje fight, man. His fights are awesome.
He's a promoter's dream. Can you imagine if this guy anywhere else, he would get a performance of the night, fight of the night, every fight?
Dude, the leg kicks.
They're unique.
Exactly, man.
Him and Marlon, what I think make them so unique is when you see, even in other sports, when somebody has that kind of success and dominance, they kind of get a little lazy. And I don't blame them because they're so good at what they do.
And
those
humble.
Two guys don't do that.
They're both humble,
They make you feel like every fight is the toughest fight they've ever been in, and they're still getting better. I mean, you're right. It's a promoter's dream.
Yeah, they are.
Both
but
humble. Yeah. Emily, you worked for them for a few years. You're close to those guys.
4 years.
Yeah. No. 4
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
I know you're in a tough spot. But again,
I'ma do
when,
what's the
when
best
we're
for the
sitting
guys,
here with the
though.
microphones, we're doing our job. But
Yeah, of
really, at
course.
the core of us, we're fans.
Yeah.
So that's why we get excited about
No,
talking
no
about
problem.
the possibility of
No,
them. in the
I have.
league.
Listen to me. I have no problem talking to them. But at the end of the day, I work for these guys. Manager work for the fighter, not fighter work for the manager. At the end of the day, I'm gonna give him options, and I'm gonna put it on the table. But I will not persuade him, because every manager, he wants to have a UFC champion, want to have more guys in the UFC. I have a lot of guys in the UFC. I'm good. It's not about me. It's never about me. You understand? It's about them. What they want to do, how much money they want to have in their bank, what's their dream. I'm a dream. I make dream become true. This is me. I make money, and I take care of my kids. But I guarantee you, when somebody make their dream, that make me happy. You understand?
So these fights happen in less than a week.
Yeah.
In less than a week, they become free agents. After they rest and they spend some time with the family, when do you sit down and go, let's talk free agents?
I don't talk to them. They talk to me
They
when
talk
they're
to you.
ready.
Okay.
Because the whole thing is, you let them make the decision. Because the worst thing you can do, as this is a tip for all the young managers coming out there, you will never make a suggestion for a fighter to take a fight or to go to other promotion. He have to make the decision, because if it go wrong, it's your ass.
All right, and you threw me off here for I forgot what I was going to ask, but so when they I know what I was going to ask. When they do become free agents, does the WSOF have the first right of retention, or are they clear free agents?
If they don't, even if WSOF doesn't have it in a contract, they'll have it on my book, because they've been good to these guys.
Okay.
You have to have some kind of loyalty in this business.
Right.
Like a lot of people, you have to. Like my loyalty, my loyalty at the beginning is gonna be towards this fight before anybody, because I know how they go. They take care of their guys more than anybody else. I don't care. The UFC take care of their guys too. I'm sure Bellator take care of their guys, but I see it. Maybe I didn't see it anywhere else. Reyes always go out his way to make guys good.
Yeah.
He's a fighter, man. That's why when a promoter is a fighter, you're always gonna lean with the fighters.
Great card on the 31st NBC.
WSOF,
NBC
December
has that one.
31st, Madison Square Garden.
4
I'm telling
p.m.
you,
Eastern start
you,
time.
the best fight card. They broke the bank for this fight
They
card, and
did.
I think it's gonna be awesome.
And so you have champions defending, and then you have one challenger.
4 champion.
Well, you have 3 champions defending and 1 challenging the champion, Shields.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you like Jake Shields' chances against John Fitch?
John Fitch is a great fighter, but I always say, they both fought in a grappling match before, and if you look at Jake Shield, he beat Tyrone Woodley, he beat Carlos Condit, he beat Damian Maia, he beat all the top guys
Very
in the UFC.
impressive list.
How you not gonna go with him?
Robbie Lawler too.
He beat Robbie Lawler.
I know, man.
I think John is great, but I don't think John have much of a chance. Not much of a chance. I think the one fight I can tell you is gonna be dominant. I think Justin, he can't go all the time because he always take risk. I think Jake Shield, who probably finish John.
And David Branch also defends. Is he a free agent too after this fight or no?
No, David's not a free agent.
He's locked up for a little bit. Yeah, that guy's been defending 2 belts, man. That's very, very impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah. All right, Rashad Evans. Let's talk about his health. What's the latest with him?
Rashad is great, man. He did the UFC, gratefully that they flew him to California. He was supposed to fight in the January 21st. The card got canceled. He got cleared by the commission. He got cleared by the doctor.
Who was he gonna fight?
Listen, Anderson Silva.
Anderson
Is supposed to. This is the fight we want to make happen. And this is what I want. But I think Anderson's in Thailand or something, or I just want to make sure he stay healthy, and I think it's too
Getting another supply of pills, hopefully not.
No.
Oh, okay.
I can't. He's a guy's a legend, man. I can't talk shit about him.
He is.
Yeah.
I gotta keep that door open.
That's not that first.
Hey, man, you know what? How many times do I fuck up in life? And people put it in my face. You're a man.
Right.
You make decisions.
Fuck.
We can have some jokes
Listen,
about it.
I think that's a great fight. It's 2 legends.
But you're right. I will close that door if I see him coming.
But I don't know if Anderson really interested, because I think it's
a
not
tough matchup, man.
It's a tough matchup. But I'll tell you something, man. Finally, I get to manage Rashad. He's one guy. He's been my friend for 17 years.
Yeah.
And finally, he
looked good.
He looked fucking amazing,
great
bro.
Shape.
And I'm telling you,
Sad that didn't
he's gonna whip this ass if he fights Anderson. Anderson is awesome. He's one of my favorite fighters. But Rashad is gonna whip this butt.
There's a fine line, because this is when you talk about someone's health. some stuff can be disclosed or
Bro,
not.
there's
Is there
nothing
anything-
wrong with him.
Is there anything you can disclose about why he's not cleared or?
Before he started MMA, he fell on his head, and he have this thing. He's the same MRI result for the last 15
Okay,
years.
kinda what I
Nothing
heard.
changed. New York, all power to them. They so hard to work with, but they, of course, concerned about fighter healthily, but
Right.
sometimes too much. That will probably almost 4 guys in WSF card didn't fight. Almost 4.
Wow.
Now
man.
they cleared. New York is if you don't have your shit together, even if you have your shit together, fight will be canceled.
Yeah. And then Toronto, why wouldn't they clear him?
Toronto, I
Because
guess.
they accepted initially said he would fight there, right? He could fight there.
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, like Toronto followed the suit. Like Fanalos, they just kind of is the hardest commission in the United States is Toronto. Everybody knows they don't even like MMA. You know what I'm saying? In a way, like they don't want to take risks.
All right, but he's gonna fight in 2017.
Oh yeah, he's fighting. Rashard Avis versus Anderson Silva. We waiting for the contract. That's the fight we want to happen. I think far
Here
as
in
I
Las
know,
Vegas?
far as I know, Anderson entertaining
Or
it.
Brooklyn.
No, it's gonna be probably March or April.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anderson is not available. He's in like Thailand or somewhere.
Where would you like the fight to be, though?
I'd like to be fighting in Vegas March 4th, to be honest with you, but we'll see what happened. Was Anderson, that guy, he's a little older. He have to get preparation.
That'd be
and
a
stuff
great
like
fight, man. I didn't even think of that.
Be a good one.
Anderson, because
hey, it's my idea.
was it?
I asked the UFC entertain it, and I think the new matchmaker Mick
Mick Maynard, yeah.
Mick man, cool guy, man. I like Mick. He's a good guy. Man, about to lose Joe Silva, man. Last fight, a lot of stupid people.
Did you butt heads with him ever?
No, never. A lot of stupid people said, "Oh, we are happy Joe Silva leaving." Man, they stupid. Joe Silva was the easiest guy to work with. He got back to you in minutes. He made fight happen. He listening to you, and he never. I worked with him for 8 years. Never lied to me once. And me, as a matchmaker, you have to lie sometime, or you have to kind of change your opinion. This man, been awesome. He's a legend. He's on a Dana White status. He's been there since Dana White.
Yeah.
He's a future Hall of
Before.
He's a future Hall of Famer. The sport will be missed. Sean Shelby is sad, because Joe's leaving. I'm sad. People sad. You know what I'm saying? He's a legend, and I think for everybody out there saying all the stuff about George leaving, George didn't get along with you because you bullshitted him, or you tried to manipulate him, or you lied to him. But if you was him straight up, I barely spoke English when I started working with him, and he was so good to me.
With who?
Was Joe Silva.
Oh, Joe, okay.
7 years ago, I have an accent the man never lied to me once. Never, he is an awesome. I consider him as a friend, and I always gonna appreciate and admire the things he done for the sport or for a lot of fighters. He helped a lot of fighters, man. He helped a lot of fighters, but he too straight and too blunt. Sometimes he insults you, but he doesn't know.
Yeah.
You understand?
I think
and
you have to be that way.
I appreciate the shit out of Joseph.
I think you have to be that way because I've seen the way the athletes are, and I think Dana White has to check them every once in a while. We've said that. I know sometimes the fans are like,
Bro,
you can't talk to the
can I tell you
fighters that way,
something?
but you have to, man.
Can I tell you something?
The fighters aren't saints.
Hey,
The fans think the fighters are saints.
I'm gonna tell you something.
And a lot of them are, but a lot of them have to be selfish to be successful. And in that process, they look out for themselves. They're not saints. So the matchmakers have to check them. The promoter has to check them. It really is a good and healthy thing. Go ahead.
Listen to me. The only guy who used to check Dana all the time is Joe. Joe's have no filter.
He said that before, too. Dana said, you think I'm difficult to deal with? Wait till you mess with him.
No, but it's not difficult. He just don't have filter.
Well, sure. Can you share a good story that, that wasn't too private, you and Joe or anything like that?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you two stories. Recent
right.
story. Chris Weidman stuff was going on. Chris is my friend, and I called Joe. Man, it's like, the fuck, man. Like, the guy about New York fight Romero. He's been a champion.
So this is before the Romero fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after that, I got involved. I want to make this fight happen. I got involved. I don't manage Chris. He have a manager. And after that, they got on the phone and talk. And after that, I called Joe. I said, Joe, man, what happened? I said, man, I have this awesome conversation with Chris. He was such a nice guy. Really, really like him a lot. It was great. After that, I talked with Chris. I said, I never been on the phone with somebody He devalued me. He appreciated me. But the whole thing is, Joe was saying fact about what happened, this, and this. Joe thought the conversation was great. He think Chris is white man, but Chris on the other side thought the conversation was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a lot. He has cut and dry. He's black and white. He'll tell you the truth.
But you have to understand him.
How many fighters have told us?
Listen to me.
A lot of fighters have told us, Joe told me my last 3 fights sucked or they were boring or whatever.
I'll tell you something. I get these text messages from Joe. Last weekend, last Toronto card, Rustam Kabalov was fighting in Canada. He said, your guy sucks. I said, hey, man, be quiet. You're about to leave in fucking 5 days and keep talking shit. And he said, that's the fucking truth. The whole thing is with Joe, I don't argue with Joe because you can never win a fight with Joe. Never. He's always right. And the fight wasn't the most exciting. He's right. But the whole thing is he doesn't let shit fly. He will let you know.
I'll tell you one. I'll tell you a story. I've had maybe 5 in my life, and 4 of them were in the hotel lobby just having drinks or whatever. But there was one time where I needed to know an answer. It had to do with Gerald Harris. And I said, why did he get cut? On our show, Gerald Harris was a favorite.
He's awesome.
A lot of people liked him. And I go, I need to understand, like, he was 3-1, and usually, yeah, he lost, but he had 2 fight of the nights, you know. So I can't tell you all the details. He was on ESPN. He goes, I can't tell you all.
David Branch Slam.
I can't share with you guys all the details of what he said because that was more of a private thing. I have to respect that. But I remember that's when I found out. He goes, we can never cut someone off a win. It's in the contract. No matter what. He goes, on a loss we can. Huh?
Yes, they can.
They can cut someone off a win. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Well, this was like 5-6 years ago. Maybe the contract changed. But he did say that fight, because of the way it went down, was in Detroit. If you remember, it was really boring. He goes, that's the one time I felt like, wow. Falcao from Brazil, southern part of Brazil. He said, that's the one time, he goes, if I wanted to do something like that. And the reason I can reveal that is because he's said it before to others. So it's just, you know, that's just the way he is. He's really to the point. But one thing he said was, I asked him about, God, it was another fighter.
He'll be back in the UFC, Gerald Harris, soon.
Gerald Harris?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, yeah. On Wednesday nights. Let's finish up, Rashad. So he will be cleared, and he'll fight. It just has to be in certain states. Is that the way it'll happen?
You gotta stay away from New York. You know, I think he'll be fine anywhere else outside New York.
85.
85.
85.
Though he was fight week. He was like 191. No, I'm wrong. It was 189. Fight week. He was only have 3 pounds to cut.
Derek Brunson. He recently lost to Whitaker.
Oh,
he
man.
took a lot of heat on many shows, on social media. What are you doing? Even the Fox guys, Kenny, everybody else said it just looks so amateurish. In the end, usually anybody that gets knocked out does look amateurish. It's not like you can single that guy out. But how's he recovering? How's he doing? Because that was an incredible streak that he had. And he actually hurt Whitaker for a while.
Yeah.
So that fight could have went his way, but how's he doing? We like
funny,
that guy.
Everybody was saying, oh, those amateurs, but he would have knocked him out. It would have been great. But the whole thing is, like, he's fine. We looking to get him a fight right now. We tried to fight Talas Latus or what's his name, the Australian guy?
Whitaker again?
No, the Australian guy.
Australia, yeah, Whitaker's from New Zealand.
The 40 years old guy. He just beat.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Judo guy.
He just beat
Kamosi.
Yeah.
I'll beat the hell out of Kamosi. I was
Dude,
surprised.
I keep undervaluing that guy.
Oh my God.
Hooker? No.
The
I forgot. I know who you're talking about. The Kelly.
Dan Kelly. Daniel Kelly. Yeah.
I keep thinking he's too old, but goddamn, he gets the job done.
Judo power, man.
Yeah.
Judo power.
So maybe him.
We thinking, it's up to Mick. Mick is gonna have to make the decision, but it's up to Mick. But this is kind of what are we looking to fight.
When the fighter does experience that type of KO, what's your protocol? Do you leave that to him and his doctor, or do you intercede and just make sure, hey, we want to make sure your brain's okay, your neurological?
I like the guys take some time off, because a lot of time the guys want to come so fast to have something to prove, but you need some time off. I think it's better to take some time off, but you can't tell the guys that sometimes. Sometimes you have to say it in a way you're not doubting them. Because if you say it and not doubting them, they can be insecure about it. And they don't think you believe in them. They have to be careful how you navigate it.
Folks, this is one of your last chances here to ask a question to the show. 866-522-2846.
Last chance.
We have Ali Abdelaziz in studio here with us, talking Frankie Edgar. Next, when we come back from the break, it's our only break of the second break. Of the second hour. So hang tight with us. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
Tell your boss to reschedule that meeting. Call your wife and tell her lunch is off. It's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes.
All right, we're coming down the home stretch of another fine edition of MMA Junkie Radio. We got Ali Abdelaziz in the house. He manages a lot of great fighters like Fabricio Verdum, Habib Nurmagomedov, Frankie Edgar, Justin Gaethje, Marlon Moraes. The list goes on and on.
Cody Garbrandt.
Cody Garbrandt fighting this weekend as well. All right, so you wanna talk about this thing that came out on Middle Easy?
Yeah, this whole.
You want me to read the quote first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's an article. I haven't been on this site in a long time, honestly, so I don't know how they work. If they just is it just like social media type tags, or there's no really doesn't.
Sometimes
I
back and
don't know
forth.
if there's original contact, but this is a quote from Verdum. Some people think he's jealous because I became champion, beating his dad, Cain Velasquez, but I don't think that's the case. He continued, I think he didn't come out of the closet yet. I don't have anything against homosexuals, but Cigano needs to get out of the closet. He must have something because he won't forget me. I already told him I'm married. Nothing against gays, but everyone does their own thing. So I guess this is something that was brought to your attention, Ollie.
Yeah. I honestly received somebody from the UFC. Do you see anything wrong with it?
I get where he's coming from, what he's trying to say, but I could tell that that's the way people are going to react. They're going to get upset.
It's just I don't have anything against homosexuals. He must have something because he forget. I told him I'm married. For one, for Fabricio, I thought it was funny when he said
because he said in Portuguese and people translated. He did the interview in Portuguese and people translated.
Oh, that's the translation of what he said?
That's the translation.
That's different.
I don't see anything here where he is bashing gays.
No. This is ridiculous.
I think if anything, he's being funny. He's saying Junior's consumed with me. But the problem is with society now, you have to be so clear about the fact that you're not being homophobic that you throw that in there, and in that process, people attach themselves to that comment. So he's basically he didn't have to say I don't have anything. He's joking, but he does have to say it nowadays because a lot of people are very sensitive to this. But in that process, I think I bet you that's what people are more upset about is him going out of his way and saying that. But that's athletes and celebrities are really in a tough spot because they have to clarify what they're saying once they go down that road.
And a translation changes everything because there's certain things that almost cannot be translated.
But the era I grew up with, if you were to say, man, I'm married, why are you so consumed with me? That's a ha ha ha. It gets a laugh. And trust me, I know gay people that laugh at that too, man. It's just uptight people out there that have to make more out of something than it really is. And it's a trickle effect that the promotion has to, talk to the fighter, and then the fighter has to apologize. And it's I don't know. I have seen way more worse things than
I don't think anything wrong with it.
Either do I.
No, but it is what it is. But for Fabricio, man, he's so open-minded. He have nothing towards the gay community or the lesbian community or anybody. He's just he's a very open-minded guy. He's a great guy.
But do you understand what I'm saying? When people are saying something, they have to go so far out of their way to clarify it that in that process, I think people attack that comment.
Yeah, but people want to attack. They have nothing better to do with their life because he didn't. But Fabricio have a lot of gay friends. You know what I'm saying? It's like I know that for sure. But he was a joke. He didn't say anything insulting against anybody. And if somebody want to take it out of context, they can. I guess this is the internet error. But I don't think Fabricio did anything wrong.
Yeah. All right. Fabricio Verdun will not be fighting this weekend. Cody Garbrandt will. And then Ali has 5 fighters fighting on World Series of Fighting. So literally the fight ends on Saturday, and you get on a plane and head to New York. Busy times for Ali Abdelaziz. You were asked earlier, if you don't mind me saying, do you miss matchmaking? It doesn't sound like it.
No.
You have too big of a roster to worry about.
It's not about that. I don't like matchmaking because a lot of time you have to you have so many cards you have to put on in a year. Where it says fighting only have 10, 12 cards a year, and you have so many guys on the roster. You have to be unfair to somebody. Of course, I'm got my friends, my training partner, my guys. I'm favor them, and this is why and I felt like, and I always try to treat everybody good. But the whole thing is you can't make everyone happy.
What if the UFC would have asked you about the opening they had for Joe Silva? Would you have considered it?
No.
Not even considered?
No. Not even close. Not even close. I just don't like it because you're going to make a lot of people not happy. And you can't please everyone. You have to understand, this is a very, very difficult job. Like everybody said, I want to be a UFC matchmaker. Good luck. Because this is one of the toughest jobs you can ever have.
I don't think you can do it for very long, to be honest, and still be able to have friends.
This is why Joe Silva, 20 years, fucking doing this over 20 years. How, this...
I think after 5, your hair starts turning gray. I mean, too stressed.
You said you had some questions for Ali before we run off?
Yeah. I just want to go back to something you said. With Conor McGregor, if he were to win against Tyron Woodley, you said you believe he's the greatest of all time. And I'm kind of with you. I have GSP as my greatest of all time. But the reason I have him there is because I feel like what makes you the greatest of all time is he fought everybody that was in front of him.
He fought the best. If he beat Tyron Woodley, he's the best welterweight. Nobody can deny.
That's what I was going to bring up was I don't feel like Conor can get that because everybody will always say, what about Khabib?
But if he never fought Khabib, it's always going to be blemished in his record.
Okay. That's
People
what I
gonna
wanted
say
to
he
clear up.
didn't fight Khabib. You understand? He have to, George fought everybody. He didn't duck nobody.
Yeah.
And Conor, he ducked some people. He ducked some people for smart reasons, not because he's a coward. I never said that, but he ducked some people for financial interest. They're gonna understand it.
I'm not sure.
Go ahead, guys.
I'm not sure if you can answer this question on air.
Yeah.
But I want to dive into the way you think as a manager. And you had mentioned, you said Jose Aldo will never fight Conor McGregor ever again. However, if he were to call you up and go, Ali, I want you to manage me, and I want you to get me that fight,
I can't get it him.
You just tell him there's no way?
No way. I will
There's
be
no
lying.
strategy you can think of that could
Nothing.
maybe get it?
Zero.
Really?
The only way he'll fight him if Conor McGregor lost 5-6 fight, all washed up, and he's just hurting for money, and Aldo's right there. That's it.
Your relationship with fighters, what I've been able to notice is, for me, it's a weird relationship because you're still able to do all the business, but you have this way of, when I look at you conversating with your fighters, I feel like two friends are talking. Okay, and a lot of people say you can't mix the friendship with business, but you're able to do that. So are you able to do that with everyone? Do you have some clients where you do feel like maybe it's just business, or
if I can be your friend, I can manage you. I have to care about you. If I don't care about you, I can't be passionate about it. You believe it or not, I turn many guys around. I have to be kind of relationship. Like Ryan LaFleur, we have the New York connection. He trained. Now he's going to Henzo. Frankie, we're together for a long time. Khabib is like it's like I have a connection. I have to be passionate about you. If I don't care about you, I can't do nothing for you.
Are you ever afraid that the business side may affect the friendship?
Never, because I always go on I do. You can ask Danny right here. He's like, what's make you a good manager? I always go on beyond. Like I'm talking about a daughter got sick, a mother got sick. I'm always there. Not because as a manager. I'm there as a friend.
How were you successful early on? You talked about your accent and how difficult it is to give. I mean, we're just talking about translations, and sometimes you can't translate things. How were you able to be successfip early on?
I'm a persistent motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a persistent, and I'm a hard work, and all my life people said I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I like a lot. That's why I have a lot of haters, because I speak my mind. I'm successful. I'm a Middle Eastern man living in America. And a lot of people said people can say whatever they want, but the whole thing is my work show for itself. I'm honest with all my guys. I give my guys paid. And everybody always have problems management over money and money missing, stuff like that. You will never hear any of my guys who say that. Brad Tavares was on your show. Like, you talk to Frankie, you talk to any of my guys, but if people hating on me, I know I'm doing well. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm getting a little bit tired because all my haters be stuff loving me. I need more haters.
We haven't covered Frankie. What's next for him?
Just we're waiting. We're waiting for the UFC to give up a matchup, but we'll see what happens. Maybe just Frankie will sit and see if Max win. If Frankie will fight Max. That's a possibility. We'll see what happens.
What do you think? Actually, let's just go with, you said Conor versus Tyron, Khabib versus Ferguson.
Yes.
Aldo versus Max. Do you think that happens, or do you think Aldo really is serious about going?
The whole thing is Aldo. Far as I see it, he's been ducking Max because he said he want to fight Anthony Pettis before Max. It make no fucking sense. How you fight Anthony Pettis come off 3 losses over Max? If Max didn't get the fight Aldo next, something's wrong with this damn sport, because this guy have on a 10 fight winning streak. You can't deny him. You can't. But if Aldo, it seemed like Aldo now using Conor's strategy.
Yeah.
Want to fight guys doesn't even deserve it, because Conor didn't deserve to fight Eddie. You understand? Conor, didn't deserve to fight Aldo cutting from Frank. It's a lot of stuff, but it is what it is, the business. But Aldo doesn't have this much juice to do that. Conor does.
Let's talk to Russ from Boston. What's up, Russ? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy holidays.
You too.
Hey, Ali, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of yours, man. You're always so passionate and so honest. But just to go back to the World Series of Fighting, I know you're very proud of what you did there. Was there like 1 or 2 or 3 matchups that you put together that you knew were going to be excellent going in, and they just more than delivered once they were, once they happened?
It was so easy when you have guys like Justin and Marlon. It's always exciting. Like, one of the things I'm so proud of, I can barely count on one hand on TV how many matches was boring. Barely. I think every match is there, and I tell you, a lot of it was luck, because a lot of time on paper looks great, but with me, a lot of fight I thought was gonna be bad and turned out good. With World Series of Fighting, is never boring fights. Even when Jake Shield and Pahara's match, people thought it was gonna be boring.
An intense fight.
People thought it was gonna be boring, but it wasn't. I know it wasn't gonna be boring. I know for sure. But a lot of guys, they thought it was gonna be good. Like it was a lot of great fights. It was World Series of Fighting. They always put on great fights. Still, when Ray put on fights, still great fights. World Series of Fighting, people doesn't give him the credit they deserve. Man, they spend a lot of money giving these guys homes. Man, how you deny him the credit? Can you imagine if World Series of Fighting is not around today? How many families not gonna have money? A lot of families.
Well, and they also helped resurrect the careers of Anthony Johnson and
Arlovsky. But listen to me. Everybody said, "Oh, they're losing money." You worried about your goddamn self. Let them. If they want to lose money, let them lose money. Let the fighters make money. It's not. When they're gonna go out of business? They've been saying that since show 3. They're now on the 34. Like, people just haters, man. People are just fucking haters, and it's disgusting, man. How just support the fighters, support the promotion, support Bellator, support World Series of Fighting, support Legacy, support all these guys, because without them, a lot of family would not have a good living.
Russ.
Hey, Ali, do you have a quick opinion on Rousey and Nunez for Friday night? And I'll take it off the air.
Thanks,
have
Russ.
a good one, guys.
All right, you too.
I'm cheering for my girl Ronda Rousey. I think Ronda Rousey is gonna go out there.
This a judo thing?
I like Ronda, man. A lot of people understand Ronda wrong. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I kind of side with Ronda. She's not gonna give any interviews to the media, because the media's bashed her. Like, she was so good to the media before, talking to the media and doing like that. After, when she lost, you know what I'm saying? And she's a girl too, man. She's different. You can't be talking all this bad thing about a woman. You understand? People talk about gay. This is a woman. This is a little princess. Ronda Rousey is a princess. You can't talk bad about Ronda Rousey after she give you all these interviews and all these clicks and all this traffics. Yeah, I think the media did her unjust. You know what I'm saying? Because the media did unjust but Conor actually didn't earn everything he have. Ronda did. Ronda dominated everybody in minutes. You understand? And I think the media did Ronda wrong.
She did have an impressive run, man, up until Holly Holm.
And I think, guess what?
35 seconds, 16 seconds.
Friday night, you're gonna see a new champion. She's gonna go there and she's gonna handle business, because Ronda, she always, when she lost, even
two
in
new
judo,
champions on Friday.
I think Ronda's gonna be the champion. I think Cody's gonna be the champion. Ronda's gonna take Amanda down. She's gonna handle Amanda. Amanda's a great fighter too. She's a sweetheart too, man. I like Amanda Nunes, but I'm cheering for Ronda Rousey.
I'm surprised there's not more people going for Ronda Rousey in this fight, because think about it. The way Holly Holm won her fight, Amanda can't fight like that. That's not her game.
Amanda get tired too.
Amanda is the type of fighter that Ronda's been able to beat this whole time.
Yes.
She's just going to go back to the bread and butter.
That's why she's favored. That's why Vegas have us a favorite.
So you're going with Amanda?
No. I'm going Ronda.
Sorry, Ronda and Garbrandt.
I'm going Cody, Amanda,
I'm trying to figure
Ray
out
Borg.
How many champions could you have this weekend if everything goes right? 5?
Yeah.
5. Dos Anjos, Rafael, how's he doing?
He's doing good, man. He's on vacation right now with his family. He's snowboarding and stuff like that. We should see him back in May or June. He just wants some time off.
Why did he leave Kings? Do you know? Well, I'm sure you do. Can you share? Sorry.
To be honest with you, I do not know.
Oh, no?
100% the truth. I do not know. Nobody knows. I don't think nobody knows. Just nobody knows.
Seemed like a good home for him, and he became a world champion there, and they went the other way. He's no longer there.
It's sad, but it is what it is. You just gotta move on. And he's a great guy. I love Rafael dos Anjos.
Anything else you want to cover before we go? We got about 90 seconds left. Anything that wasn't said or that you'd like to clear up?
Shout out to World Series of Fighting, December 31st, Madison Square Garden. Still ticket on sales. 5 title fight. Shield, Marias, Branch, Gaethje. It doesn't get better than that. Support these guys. They're great people.
And that's a 4 p.m. Eastern start time, folks. So it's not going to interrupt with any plans that you have for New Year's Eve. It'll all be said and done by the time that you're ready to go out.
That's it, man. Support the World Series of Fighting. Support my boy Cody Garbrandt, my boy Ray Borg this weekend, and let's be positive, people. Stop hating and start loving each other. This is your New Year resolution, I forgive everybody if they did something to me. I never hold grudges. Never hold grudges. You forgive and love each other and stop hating goddamn much.
Everybody gets a clear slate with you? It's 2017?
I never hold grudges. Honestly, sometimes when people hate, I laugh at them. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I want to slap him when I see him, but the whole thing is, if I slap you, mean I'm good because that's good. Like you mean you should be good because I can do, that's good. Just
you're gonna be good. He may not be good though.
Take the hate out of your heart, slapping each other, forget all this bullshit, and just move forward. That's it. Hug somebody.
Shout out to Martin Alvarez and Gavin McCarran. I think your questions were answered earlier in the show, so check it out. All right, folks, for Ali and Goes and Danny Beckis and George, have a nice day. Be champions. We'll be here tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll have TJ Dillashaw on the show. We'll see you in 22 hours. Be champions.
Almost falls down the drain.